Welcome to our podcast, which is called a Sunday Daily Podcast. And now we have a good speaker from UI graduate.
Yeah, right.
Everyone will know his name,
Yeah,
and
hello.
it's gonna be Haskuchi, aka Urania. And today's topic is interesting enough for me because he will speak something that out of his expertise.
Oh my God.
Uh, the topic is the art of talking or communications from Larry King book. So, Randia, you have time and yeah, take this.
Right. So, hello, Andra. How are you today?
Hello, Randia. I'm really good right now.
Nice, very nice. We have Adil, but Adil's kind of going into the bathroom right now. So, into the restroom right now. So, I take it from here. Uh, Basically, what I'm going to show is maybe a continuation of Adil listening practice, but this time we tend to be more going to conversation rather than just listening, right? We tend to go, we are going to look into more in the conversation settings rather than just practical listening, right? So let me just share screen and then to the my Excalibur. I think it's pretty good. I guess. Let me just share screen a little bit. I hope that you can see the the whiteboard here. Can you see it, Andra?
Yeah. The whiteboard is now presented well.
Okay, good. So I'm going to get this all out from take the main point from the book of how to talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere, as the secret of good communication by Larry King. But with at some my experience and point of view, basically. So it wasn't. So I just elevated it with my point of view, basically, right? So talking. What is talking really? Talking is basically a conversation between two people, right, Andrea? Like right now we are talking to each other. Maybe at Adil too. Maybe at the audience too, right? That's that kind of talk.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that. The usual way to talk is basically with our voice, with our mouth, right? That's I'm gonna define it. Talking as when two people talk with their voice and their body language at max.
Okay, so it looks like you are about to classify the communication type first.
Yeah, but yeah, there are many ways to talk, right? Like with your eyes, with your message, with your uh, basically with your uh, phone call or maybe text message and anything else with email maybe. There are a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
way of talking really. What I want to focus on is actually one like speaking like with your mouth, your voice, your with your body, like we did right, like we doing it right now. And maybe you can by some reason you can extend it to text message and other kind of form of communication, but right now I want to focus on this uh, talking, right? That kind of talk. So let's start with something. With before we going into talking, we need to focus on the settings first, the background maybe. Let's. I'm gonna write the settings as a large something like this. You still can see it well, right? In the text,
Yeah,
Andra.
yeah. Yeah, setting is now presented well.
Okay, good. Now, when we talking about talk, get it? Like the pun, talking about talk. There are many settings that we need to consider first. Like
What
what?
is that?
Yeah, yeah. That is what kind of talk. Like what kind of talk? Like is it like uh one to one? Like we speak talk one to one, like you and me, eye to eye only, or maybe you are in a group setting, like a group discussion, right? This like one or more many person. One to one is one by one, like you and me, two-person talking to each other. Group discussion is one or more person to talk, uh, telling about stuff, and then there are also like public speaking. The difference is this public speaking is when you the only one who talks and the audience are listening. Kind
Okay,
of,
so public speaking means that it's one directions.
yeah. It's not exactly one direction since you
I'm
can
sorry,
all.
I'm on certain tourist destinations right now, so I will only be listening for the same. Okay, Adil.
Okay, Adil, good luck with your have fun with your
Okay, so I mean, Adil is now just a good listener.
all right, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I can.
then yeah, you can
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, so there is this is the kind of talk that you kind of do, and each one does need some kind of preparation, not preparation, like some kind of different strategies to it. Next is far more, uh, far more not with background. It's more like in yourself, in your personal self, like with what intention do you intend to talk. Yeah, so basically, is it for negotiating, or is it just for breaking ice, have fun with your friend, or is it something else like interview, or maybe researching, uh, or something else? There are many intention really, but
Looking
well,
for a partner.
yeah, looking a partner. I mean, that's true, I guess. Impressing your partner, maybe, if you want to have something like that. But depending on your intention, it's going to set what kind of talk do you want to do. Like if you're negotiating, you maybe want to convince the other partner to accept your term and condition, right? And if you're just breaking ice, you just talk whatever you want to talk, actually. Yes. Yeah, and then who's talking? With who? With who? You sometimes you have friends, right? And maybe elderly, or maybe you're higher up, maybe. I mean, what I mean is, depending on who's you're talking, you going to change your strategy when you're talking. Like, if you when you go to the higher up, you probably talking more formally or more professionally rather than going to talk with your friends, right, Andra?
So, with whom you start,
Mm,
uh, communicating is really important.
yes, that's true.
Mm.
Yeah, so basically, who's you're talking is going to change how you speak, how your attention really. I mean, you kind of, you kind of intuitively get it, right? What it means, like you won't talk like casually to your elderly or higher up, right? You need to talk professionally, something like that. So
Yes, yes, yes.
that's the setting you usually get when you are trying to talk to people, whether kind of
Okay,
back.
so I can see three settings here. The first, what kind of talk, and the second, intentions,
Mhm.
and with whom you start communicating. All right.
That's true. All right. Now, I'm going to show you the prayer. This is from the book itself, but I'm going to add some point for me too. But this is the prerequisite of a good conversation, right? I mean, there are people, like that already like. Do you know like people who kind of great at talking, great at conversation? You feel like it is good, you kind of feel they have some kind of talent at talking, right, Andra?
Uh,
Have you
yeah, yeah. I'm
ever?
impressed with the person.
Yeah, I mean, can you like, yeah, do you have encountered such person?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah, I mean, I already recognize, you know, a
Mm,
lady that has a good communication, especially in English.
true.
And I can see that
Mm,
when she started communicating, her flow is so easy to listen, and making everyone would listen to her instead of just busy with their own.
true. Okay, that's your experience, right? Now, I want to show you like before you even talk, you need to prepare something. Like, this is how you can create a good conversation. This preparation, I mean, for start, I mean, at the start you might be need to be aware, but if as the time goes, you will like immediately intuitively know what to do, right, Andra. So this is the prerequisite of a good conversation. First, you need to have a clear intention. Basically, what do you when you're talking to people, what purpose do you talk to? Like, is it like before, are you trying to breaking ice, or just a casual talk with people, or getting know each other, maybe negotiate? Try to have a clear intention to it. Like, if you don't have a clear intention, you probably going to
Waste
uh,
of time.
yeah, a waste of time. That's first. And then you probably going to speak aimlessly, like you don't know, you kind of feel weird, like you kind of feel you doesn't know where to drive the conversation itself even.
So the communications
Hmm?
is gonna be and ended up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, it's going to be weird even just formality, like what Indonesian word is basa-basi does have intention to it. Like basa-basi means just talk as yes, some small talk. Basically, you don't have to so but if you trying to uh talk deep but you don't have a clear intention, you are going to be miserable at conversation if you kind of like that. Which whoever you are and what kind of personality you are, if you don't have a clear intention, you are not going to have a good conversation. That's what I want to say. And if possible, show what your intention is. I know some people like it depends actually. If you are like host, like you are deliberately doesn't show your intention, like you have plans why you have a good reason why you don't want to show your intention. For example, like for uh in the argument or debate, sorry, not argument or debate, or maybe you are kind of want to make a surprise to somebody, then sure you don't have to show your intention. But if you are trying to have a good conversation, a
Business.
well, yeah, honest, generous, sorry, not generous,
Honest.
like, yeah, honest conversation, you probably going to show your intention. Like, you want to, for example, like if you want to talk about battery research, you need to show your attention that you are really want to talk about battery, and maybe you want to show like you want to talk about this and that, basically, right? No matter if you one-to-one group discussion or public speaking, or no matter what intention is, you probably it is better if you try to show your intention. It makes it clear to the people that you are trying to converse with. And yeah, and also if the partner doesn't want to have that kind of conversation, he basically going to show it to you that he or she doesn't want to have that kind of conversation. So yeah, show your intention is pretty good. Having clear on the intention first and then show that intention if possible. That's the prerequisite at first. Second is be open to feedback. Not a lot of people do this actually. Like, I mean, surely people said that I am open to feedback, but how to do it well, Andra? Like, many people say
Or do
that
you mean that you need to respond your partner well?
that's one of it, but what I mean is usually people say I am open, but doesn't know how to do it, doesn't know how to be open, right, Andra? Or so that what you're saying is correct. Giving listen well, giving uh
Response.
response, a good response. I think that's true. But first, before you give your response, you need to listen well. This where maybe Adil like previous uh podcasts might be in practice, like go into practice here. Show listen well, and then show, this is what you said, Andra, show empathy and understanding. So this is you show by your reaction and
And
yeah, empathy and understanding. I will give you some explanation for this, but right now just know that show empathy and understanding is important to your to be a good conversation. And lastly, remember that conversation, remember conversation is two-way communication.
yeah, communication two ways.
So what I mean is remember that thought conversation is two-way communication. You don't talk, don't monopolize the conversation to yourself. Even if you are in speech, in public speaking, uh,
Yeah, I mean public speaking is like one way, right? If
yeah,
you
almost like one way, but you need to see the reaction of the audience. So you kind of monopolize it, but at some time you need to stop and listen, like see what audience are doing right now. Like
okay,
yeah, so that's what I kind of want to show you. To be open to feedback. Like
be
you,
offer
yeah, when you speech, the audience gives some reaction, and you
reaction.
need to feel that, to be aware of that, so you can adjust it and
Yeah,
at some point.
yeah. It is important to attract
Mm,
the audience awareness.
yeah, to your speech, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Now, lastly, as this prerequisite is respect your partner. Now, I bet you already understand intuitively, right? Why? But but one of the reason, not the reason, like one of the clean advice for it is try to understand under your partner background, like yeah, so you need to understand like your partner background, your where he came from, where what does it stand, like are he or she have some kind of uh we I mean this is a good way to understand your partner, to bring up the conversation. For example, if Andra, you are from analytic chemia, right, chemistry, right? Like
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm from the chemistry background.
yeah, when talking to you, I think you will prefer talking about chemistry rather than talking about most things that you don't understand, such as math and stuff like that. I mean, you could certainly try to talk about math, but I think talking to people who understand stuff is kind of better for to create a meaningful conversation. Andra, is that yeah? What do you yeah? Is it kind of like that? Mm, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
So, I mean, Andra, you can certainly talk to me about chemistry, and maybe you can talk to me about computer science, but and maybe you can talk to me about news and stuff like that. But try to understand your partner background first. If you talk about a deep chemistry, like something very advanced chemistry, to me, I maybe don't understand much, and maybe the conversation will be impeded by the inability of mine of not knowing about, not educated about the chemistry, advanced chemistry stuff like that. Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Secondly, you need to understand your partner intention. Right. So imagine you are in negotiation. You know, you already know, right, the intention of the partner. You want to, they want to uh, keep the price as high as possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, both partners want great
Mm.
benefit respectively.
Yeah, and then there's this kind of yeah, knowing that your uh partner intention is important of doing what strategy, like are you going to do, like where are you going to convince your partner to back down and maybe negotiate much better. For example, if you are in uh let's say if you already know that the seller needs to sell this product at as fast as possible, you probably have a leeway to let's say to negotiate haggling down it more, like rather than just picking at the right price, rather than when the partner when they have no such obligation to do it. Yeah, so knowing the partner intention, what they are from, and their background is pretty much important to to be to be have a good conversation. But that is for negotiation. But maybe there are other else. Like let me try think some example here. Okay, how about this, Andra? If you are trying to go to the bathroom and suddenly I came here to talk to you, would you be annoyed?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I will automatically hang you left.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, because your intention is go to the bathroom, not to talk with me, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
one extreme.
Otherwise, I will, you know, have be in that point.
Yeah, I know it sounds obvious, but there are people, who doesn't really like us being selfish. Like they don't really try to understand their partner and just talk themselves a lot, without caring about the partner's situation and background and intention, and that's not good. You make yourself like you don't create a meaningful conversation, but and also you don't your what you're saying is not going to be stuck in your partner. Basically, that's the thing that I want to emphasize, that this is an obvious thing that you should have, but if you don't have, it's going to be very bad. It's going to be very bad, both right now and maybe in your reputation itself. That's the kind of thing that I want to say. Yeah, so this is a prerequisite. Andra, so far, do you still with me? Are you still with
Yeah,
me?
so I can see three main prerequisites before you aim to have a good conversations.
Right.
Okay, the first, have a clear intention. Second, be open to feedback, and lastly, request your partner.
Res-
Respect. Sorry, respect your
Respect your
partner.
partner.
Yes.
Right. Now, this is a prerequisite. Like, now we going to the good stuff. What would you do when you're talking to people? Like, what? Now I'm going to show you what qualities
What quality? All right.
of a great talker.
So uh it might be the main point of this topic.
Yes, that's true. Actually, okay, maybe not. Okay, yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. This is the main point of this whole podcast, to be honest. First, I think and this is not, I mean, this is pretty important, is to talk effectively. Don't, basically, what I mean is don't talk if not necessary. Have you ever, Andra, like when talking to a person, they talk too much? I mean, too much is kind of fake, but fake like weird, like ambiguous. But what I mean is, Have you ever like talking to somebody who just talking and talking and talking without a clear message there? Like you listen it, but it's kind of weird. You don't get his intention well. You don't get his message well. He just keep talking and talking and talking. Have you ever been in that situation, Andra?
Uh, well, honestly, rarely do I have kind of that in situations,
Oh,
but of
really?
course, yeah. I mean, certainly I've ever had it before.
Hmm. I mean, for me, I have in that situation before. Like they just keep talking, like talking some stuff A, B, C, D, and then sidetrack to something else, and then go back again. I kind of feel like what he or she talks is meaningless. Like it's not going to be. Not only it's not going to be well received to your partner, to me perhaps, but also in the future you're going to be have this kind of experience, and then you're going to be filter whatever he or she going to say. So Andra, if you talk too much or too many or meaningless conversation, in the next time you do, it's going to be the people who talk to you again is going to be ignore you. Basically that's bad, right? I mean, people ignore you. You don't even if you're talking important things, they will
All right.
ignore you, something like that. It's going to be bad. So
Yeah. So I mean,
mm,
talk and if talk and effectively is different about chit chat.
yeah.
So what I catch is that
Mm,
chit chat is done in the initial talking, so it won't
mm.
last long enough.
I mean, for me,
And
I mean, chit chat is
yeah,
fine, Andra. Like, chit chat is nice. It has intention. Like, chit chat is hi, hello, Andra, how are you, and stuff like that. It's fine if you have a clear message. Like, you want to know how are you doing or stuff like that before getting into the main point of your conversation. Yeah, as long as it has clear message and keep it short. Don't talk too much. Don't talk too much. Like kind of like that.
all right.
Mhm. Every word that you say should have weight. That's the important point of this. Don't talk if necessary.
All
Something
right,
like that.
so you mean that every word that is released from our mouth should lead to the aims or main point that we would deliver. Is that true?
That is correct. Like
Mm.
you talk, there are people, like we can see that most people, most influential people have this slow talk. Like they don't talk too much, but every word that they say, you always kind of listen to it because they, that the word that he said is wise and meaningful, right? To you at least. That's kind of things that could happen.
Okay,
And
okay.
maybe this is the part that I kind of uh, fall flat into it, but I kind of fail to do it. But don't cut when people talking. It seems obvious, but in practice, it's kind of hard, Andra. At least for me, I guess I kind of caught people when talking, like previously, maybe unconsciously, but this is the when talk effectively, you don't cut people when talk, except maybe in the urgent. Like there are exceptions, of course, but it's
Yeah,
generally you don't
I
cut.
can give you an example.
Mm.
When you have a meeting online,
Mhm.
but in your real situations, you have your parents or your neighbors are suddenly sick and they need your help.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can cut.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah. If it's urgent, maybe you can call, but generally you don't do it. Right in
Yeah, it's
normal
just
time.
in emergency, right?
True, true. And next, but not next. Like But when talking to people, conversation, stories are welcome, telling stories,
Okay. No, I
but
mean,
keep,
I'm such a bad storyteller.
yeah, but keep it relevant to the conversation. Like you have some idea talking about, let's say, a battery, right? Let's say you're talking about battery, and you want to share a story about battery, and that's fine. It's good, even good and better, to add some meaningful story in the conversation. But keep it relevant. Don't go sidetrack to some other conversation, like to some other stories not related to battery if you the main conversation is about battery. So yeah, stories are welcome, but keep it relevant and short perhaps, so the person will not so the partner will not let's say stop listening to you. That's that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a funny story.
What is okay.
Uh, yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I've ever had a conversation with my own friends. I mean, we discuss about the stomach disease.
Mm-hmm.
However, it expanded to a certain topic, which is marriage problem. Is that fine?
I mean, it's fine, but you need some kind of what is it like a cohesive. If you Are you going to talk about only this, or is it casual or not casual, Andra, when you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's informal way. I mean, it is because one of my friends is sick because of
Oh,
ear pain. I mean, and
okay.
we talk about this stomach disease right in the first place.
Mm,
However, when we talk about it, and yeah, since she is already married, so yeah,
mm,
we talk about how the way how her husband treats her and blah blah
oh,
blah. So until we discuss about the marriage problems
all right.
from stomach disease
I
in
mean,
the in
mm,
initial.
okay,
What
okay,
do you think about it? I mean,
okay,
it
got it. Mm?
as long as yeah, it could be said quite relevant. I mean, it's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, so it's fine. It is fine actually. Like, like your story, like the topics already changed, right? From the, let's say, the disease to the merit problem, like, and the merit stuff, right? I mean, stories, but they are closure, like when you talking about stories, like you selling a stories about the disease, and then after the stories ended, you change the topics into the merit, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
By means it's not, I mean, by means it's cohesive, at least, like you don't immediately like change the topic, like before the closure of your stories. That's what I
Okay.
mean.
Before the first topic is clear to deliver.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like the end of the stories. After that, you are welcome to change your topics, but you don't change your you don't change your topic in the middle of the story itself. Maybe there are some exception, but generally you don't change midway, right?
Okay.
Because stories have a clear message usually. Because if story doesn't have a clear message, it's not a meaningful story, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Mhm. So if you need to talk effectively and don't talk if not necessary, uh, what should you do actually? Like, what should you do in the conversation? If you don't talk if necessary, like if you don't want to talk, if you don't have things to talk about. Well, if you don't have things to talk about and you don't want to talk unnecessarily, you need to be curious. Ask question. This is the greatest and the most powerful way to drive conversation, Andra. This is sorry, curious actually. Yeah. I mean, I guess you already heard this before, but if
Yeah,
you
I'm one of them. I mean, uh, I
Mhm.
usually do not have things to share, things to communicate well. So yeah, I usually start conversations by questioning things for someone.
That's true. I mean, you already. I imagine you already go to the prerequisite, right? You know the partner background, you know the partner intention, and maybe not so much in intention, but you know the topics that you are in. So ask relevant question to drive the conversation. Like,
Very, very true, man. You
yeah,
are exactly true.
listen, and then after you ask the question, listen well. Don't ask question but ignoring the answer from the partner. It doesn't it shows that you're disrespectful if you don't listen it well. That's the second action. Yeah, that's the thing that I want to say about big ask question. Mhm. Next, there are many actually, but I'm gonna we'll go through one of each one. Yeah, and then be present in the conversation.
Do you mean presence is mindfulness?
Yeah, mindful. Like, have you ever in conversation your mind tends to go wander where anywhere except the conversation itself?
You mean wandering from place to place in
Yeah,
one conversation?
yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I
It looks like
certainly.
the
Mm.
speaker is currently high.
I mean, no, yeah, I mean, I guess so. But remember, like, uh, when people mind wonder, it's going to be show to your partner, like, it's going to be show that you are not listening, yeah, right? I mean, because your mind is not there at the conversation, like you're not listening well, and then you aren't uh, really contribute into the conversation, and
Failure to awareness.
yeah, fail to aware that it always feels great, right? I mean, it always feels great when people are listening
What?
to you, and it also and that kind of feeling, and that's true also when you are listening to people will be feel great if you are there listening to you. So be present, and maybe
Yeah,
be
it will increase our dopamine level once the people listen to us.
yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, right. I mean, imagine like right now I don't listen to you. My mind is go
Well,
somewhere else. Like, will you feel annoyed, right?
yeah, I will automatically leave the group.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so, right. Next is there are actually nine, but I'm gonna make it short if possible, right? Next is show empathy. This is the part where I'm going to tell you later. Right now,
Yeah.
before, yeah. So, and understanding. What does it mean? What empathy means? React, react
Properly.
by feeling. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
you mean
proper.
that when we misreact about something, then you do you think that someone is
Mhm.
uh you know is crazy, or someone doesn't have any feeling that should be presented properly?
What I mean is, you.
Because I have now I
Mhm.
now have crazy neighbor.
Okay. Oh, oh my
So
God.
she always reacts uh, out of proper conditions. She When I ask her about something,
Mhm.
she always loud at me instead.
Is it
Since she's crazy, so yeah, I will tolerate it.
is it because of personality maybe, or is she just not well in mind?
Yeah, she's now quite crazy because
Okay.
yeah, she doesn't have any child, and additions, she is now, uh, you know, pension,
Oh.
meaning she doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she just ended up at home all year round. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the point. She lost her mind, and every resident here in my own neighborhood always look down, means looks down on her.
Okay.
Yeah, she because in one time,
Mm-hmm.
uh she's been ever caught to enter someone's house without permissions
Oh my God.
until,
Okay.
yeah, uh she, yeah, she was shocking the dweller at that home.
Mm,
So the men, I mean, or the husbands of my neighbor that found the crazy person, you know, waking up from sleeping, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, he's shocked, and uh, kind of uh, scolding her instead because of her craziness.
Oh my God. Actually, yeah. I
And
mean,
yeah,
mhm.
just a couple of days ago, she entered my home without permission too.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh my
infiltrating
God.
home is her favorite activity. I mean, currently,
God. I mean, that would
yeah,
be
trespassing.
that's terrifying,
uh,
actually.
yeah, and other homes.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that's terrifying to be honest. Okay, but back again to the main point here, like empathy means reacting by feeling. When you tell a story like that you have, I can like you feel what show you what you feel like after you hearing that story. Uh is it terrifying or is it happy or joyous or maybe it is something else? Try to react by your feeling and then react by reasoning. React by reasoning means give your feedback about it. Like the story that you tell me shows that that person is kind of weird and try I mean under try to like make sure that nobody can get your home without permission maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
because at the time, a couple
mhm,
days ago exactly, I forgot to
lock the
lock
door.
the gate. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, all right.
So
Yeah.
uh, when I go outside, I
Hmm.
could see a strange person's, uh,
In the front of
back.
the door.
Yeah, when I was going outside, I could see a strange person's back on my car.
Ah, I see. I see. Okay,
Yeah,
that is scary actually. Yeah, but
when I saw her, properly or closer.
hmm?
Yeah, he's such a person that is currently crazy, and she kept infiltrating my home until she opened the second gate of my home,
Mm,
and she was going outside too.
oh my God.
But
Okay.
instead of crossing the road that is in front of my home,
Hmm.
yeah, you see, I have two sides of home. First in the from the resident, and the
Hmm.
second is in front of my home, which many cars passing through all time. Yeah, she was at the second site, aka the grid roads. Instead of crossing the roads, she was just looking around and laughing at me.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Got it. Got it. I guess.
Oh yeah, I kept asking her to back to her homes,
Hmm.
but yeah, she kept laughing at me until I
Oh my.
forcefully encouraging her to back to her home
I see.
safely, because let's say I have had no empathy, I will simply leave left her to that point. But yeah, she was prone to get accident, right?
Yeah,
Once there was no assistant that arranging her to be in a safest place.
right, right. I mean, that's true, I
Yeah,
guess.
so yeah, yeah. I mean, it will be a challenge to get a crazy neighbor.
I mean, surely there's some way, perhaps, but I don't know about that. Well, do your, I mean, good luck Andra for that, but yeah, I guess that's true. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of hard to living with your crazy neighbor. But anyway, that's that's the part where you need to show empathy and understanding when a partner confers with you. You need to show, you need to react by two things: by your feelings and by your reasoning is can doesn't have to be confined by logic. You can show it by how your feels, how you can explain it yourself, like how you feel, but at least try to react by these two field. It gives a good feedback to your partner, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, next is try to understand your partner reasoning. Sorry, intention. Say that you are in the public speaking, and you go have a speech or maybe a lecture, some stuff. You know exactly like your partner intention. They want to listen in your topics, right? So you need to reciprocate. Reciprocate. What is it like? You need to give back. Like you need to give the intention what they want. Your partner what they want. Like if the partner are coming there to listen to your explanation on battery, then you should give them explanation about battery. If your partner, if you understand that your partner are trying to negotiate with you, you do you feedback it to negotiate to that kind of partner, something like that. If you so basically, what are we trying to do again? Remember, I was remember what are we trying to do again. Like I always remember this. Like, what is the purpose of this conversation? What are their intention? What are your intention in this conversation? I always try to remember that not every time, but at least when you're going to be off track when converse with people.
Okay, Randy, you are now having 5 minutes left before we end up our podcast.
Can we add 10 minutes? I mean, just for
10 minutes.
I mean three. Oh, in the in the no, right? I mean, not in the chat, right? I guess. I mean, I tried to talk fast, Andrea, but I hope we are going to
All
be.
right.
So
Yeah, we
yeah,
are now having less than 5 minutes actually.
right, right, right. So I'm going to do it fast. Next is show different perspective. Like it's when you're trying to converse with somebody, you need to try to show different perspective to ensure that the conversation. I mean, if you don't show your different perspective, you might as well talk alone, right? I mean, you need to be you need to at least to show different perspective than your partner, at least to make a meaningful conversation. So listen well to get this different perspective of your partner, and then after that you explain well what your perspective on this matter to your partner.
Okay, maybe at least we have the same perspective of a cast, but maybe we should paraphrase it, right?
uh what I mean is, you and I might have different, I mean, you and I might have the same agreement to a topic, right, Andra? But our perspective might be different in the terms of experience. So
All
add
right.
add more to that, like add more explanation on your experience to that kind of thing, and so
Although the
hmm,
although the point is the same as we agree with, but
yeah,
maybe we can show up the different experience that we already faced before.
that's true. I mean, we can talk about that the student like sorry, I mean we can talk like the global warming is bad and we can both agree with, but we might tell a different argument why the global warming is bad, right? That's the kind of things that
Yeah.
yeah that
I
show.
caught what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, listen well so you don't get the same perspective and explain well. That's in your to tell your perspective. And two more things. Two more things. Show a great sense of humor.
Ah,
This is going to be fast, so
is this the
serious.
last thing you wanna show me?
Huh? Right? What?
Is this the last point that you wanna show us about how
Oh,
to make
uh,
effective conversations?
one more thing. When necessary. This is just for yeah. So be serious when necessary and
Yeah, we we
because
have 1 minute left to conduct this speech.
all right. Lastly, you need to condense and reference back.
Condense and reference back.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
what do you mean about it, though?
what I mean is take important idea to go back and refer it to avoid sidetrack.
Okay. So you mean that it's kind of conclusions we make in the end of our conversations?
Yeah, basically there's that. But also refer who's talking when getting that important idea. For example, like Andras said uh, that you need to be careful with crazy people, something like that. Yeah, but try to take to contact and reference back again if possible. If you are when you at least when you closing those kind of topic basically. Yeah,
Okay, okay, yeah, I
yeah.
got what you means.
So
That
yeah, there's actually this is all of it. Actually, there are no more. Yeah, this is the eight qualities of a great talker. I hope that this is meaningful to you. Certainly.
okay,
Mm. Yeah,
okay, Popper.
people.
We actually reached it at the end of our podcast. Now, yeah, we have seen some interesting explanation that is brought by our brother Randia. We see that the art of talking uh, can be classified, right? Classified into three sections. The first, settings, and the prerequisite of a good conversations, and lastly, the quality of great talker. Exactly.
True.
So yeah, you can see maybe yeah, you actually can read more to the book of Larry King yet in order to understand more and deeper. So Radia, thank you so much for your listen,
All
and
right.
yeah, you already explained it well. I hope that yeah, we can practice it and learning about it again.
In the future, right? Yes.
Yeah,
But
okay, okay,
okay.
people. I think it's enough. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well,